gatherings like this. I'll ask everybody to rise, take off your hats, cement, and space the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Call the roll. Alan Mays. Here. Mary Adler. Here. Rich Hodge. Here. Della? Here. I killed the name. I'm sorry. No. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes from January 20th, 2022. Motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion to accept the replacement of the 13 windows. Not yet. Motion to accept the 13 windows by Tough Construction at a cost of $13,000. I wish it was 13,000. This is my writing. $13,566. And that comes out of the replacement fund. Okay, I made the motion, I need a second.
Second.
Okay, it carries. Okay, and motion to accept the updated guidelines of the park garden.
Now let's discuss the windows first.
Okay, let's discussion of the windows. The reason why we're replacing these windows because they were put in as thermal pane windows and have a gasket going around it. The time goes by, the heat beats down the gasket, and the gasket shrinks or cracks. Then you have no longer thermal pane window. The gas leaks out, so that the argon gas. So what you have is the two pieces of glass. So it's a need for what we're going to do. This, we're working quite a long time, 26 years. Things are breaking and things need to be replaced. So some are cracked, window glass is cracked. When you have an opening anywhere on a window factor or a door, you have an exchange of air going in and out. And it mostly pulls out. One CFM air in, one CFM air out. That's what happens. So when you bring it in cold air, because hot goes to cold, it moves the cold, the warm air out. And the smallest little crack, you're going to diminish the airflow. So that's the reason why we're doing this. We're not just saying, well, let's just replace these windows.
There's pictures on the table of them.
Yeah, oh, yeah. But there's pictures over here right up on this table of the windows that we were replacing. Purchase of the shuffleboard. Okay. Make a motion for to accept the ARPA update guidelines.
Okay, the mark. Okay, the update on the ARC revisions are approved colors. Colors are changed, so there's approved colors. Vehicle parking, prohibited vehicles, bicycles and tricycles must be stored in the garage at home. And trees, hanging flower baskets, birdhouse, or bird feeders are strictly prohibited on any trees located in the front of the property.
Does that include LRHOA? She's got birds.
Excuse me.
Excuse me?
Only stating the fact.
Only stating the fact that you have plenty of time we're not taking anything from the floor right now.
These are just suggestions, please, when the question and answer period comes, then you are more than welcome to stand up and make your, and be heard, okay? Thank you.
Need a motion. Okay. Okay.
Aye.
How do we overturn it since you just approved it?
Who's running the meeting?
You're telling us before they get a right to talk about it, you're approving it. So we don't have a right.
We are approving it right now.
Okay, so it's approved. Why talk about it after it's approved?
We can always change something. This is what's being approved. When the question and answers come, we will be glad to listen to you.
A motion to accept the cameras or the main gate entrance to comply with the new call box.
Okay, can you hear me? No. Okay. Make a motion to accept the purchase of 4 benches to be placed on both sides of the shuffleboard, 2 on each side, at a cost of $1,481.87.
Second it. Aye. Stone. Pass.
I make a motion to accept adding 2 additional cameras to the gatehouse at the main entrance to complement the new call box system at a cost of $890.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Favor?
A comment on this is the installation of the 2 hand-pressed 8 MP Barrett local high resolution voting cameras will be attached to the gatehouse. 1 camera will be on the west side, enabling us to capture anyone entering the community from the gatehouse to the lake. And the other on the east side, viewing anyone entering between the gatehouse and the tree.
What happens to people at a mass or coming into the community to do something wrong? Are we gonna have that at another time?
We just have it when we get up there on question and answer.
Okay.
Okay, item F, July traffic bus schedule, we don't table it now. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Okay, just to comment on the call box and, the board of directors recognizes that the residents have the right to ask any questions, raise any objections, or state any position on any community issue. In fact, we encourage you to use one of these 3 ways to do so. 1, by filling out a concern sheet. 2, by making an appointment to attend our executive board office hours, which are held on the first Friday of the month from 10 to 12 o'clock, where you will meet with 2 members of the board and of course at the monthly open board meeting. You will be heard and treated with respect regardless of the issue. However, no resident has the right to attack the board by making false accusations and challenging our right to serve and accusing us of not upholding our governing documents. We have read all of the documents governing this community. We are fully aware of what we can and cannot do according to those governing documents. The facts are these. We are not removing an amenity. We are still a gated community. We are replacing the third shift guard with a call box and additional cameras at a cost savings of over $60,000 per year, which will save each household approximately $6 per month. And we believe it is in the best interest of the community to do so. To repeat, on the average, there are only 6 entries into the community during the third shift, including police, ambulances, etc. We have consulted with counsel and have been advised that there is nothing in the governing documents that prohibits the board from changing an amenity or really a common element.
The revised shopping bus schedule.
I'll take that.
Very okay.
Okay, we're going to table that for us to do a little bit more investigating. We did meet with a couple of our residents who had suggestions, so we will get back to everybody, but right now we're tabling that. Everything stays the same. We're looking into a couple of options of bringing back some stuff. So stay tuned for next month.
What are you tabling?
The bus schedule, sorry.
I'd like to introduce Lisa, who's filling a spot from the Aaron is out sick, and Lisa is working with us in Okay, this is Lisa. Okay, Lisa, stand up. Okay, she's helping us out while Erin is out sick. Okay. I'd like to introduce Jeff Silva. Come on up. And you want to take the mic? Jeff is the one who's installing the gate and the new
Get this set up here for me. Jeff Silver with Control Systems. I'm the installation company of the call directory kiosk over at the main gate on Route 70 that your board has decided to move forward with on the shift from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m.? Oh, 6 a.m. Right, and what this, again, this product is designed, meaning that after 11 o'clock, the amount of visitors or traffic that you have coming in here is anywhere between 3 and 6 people. The residents, you always still have access to your community 24 hours a day by means of your remote control, your access card, and the kiosk will actually have a ability for a 4-digit PIN number that each resident will pick out that gets programmed into the system that's assigned to your household. If you do not want to have a PIN number for your guests to come in after 11 p.m. at night, that guest will have to be able to call you on your phone from the gate. There is a feature on there that is hands-free calling. It's by pressing a 4-digit call number that's assigned to each household. That will generate a call to your landline phone in your house or your cell phone, whichever one you decide to give to the association here to program into the system. When that individual calls you from the gate, they'll say, "Hey Bob, it's Frank, I'm over here at the gate, let me in." On your telephone, you'll press the digit 5. In turn, that will open up the visitor gate and your guest can come in after 11 p.m. at night. It also records just as the guard does. Those PIN numbers and your call number is assigned to your household, so it gets recorded in the electronic database of time, date, and household, and if access was admitted for your guests to come in. The police also have a backup besides using the kiosk. I don't know if you've noticed, over last summer I installed these radio entry systems. They're a little gray box in front of each gate. They have a green LED light on it. You have it at the Massachusetts gate, the Route 70 gate, and the Whitesville gate. And that allows the township fire, police, and EMS to use their radio frequency to gain access to the community. The kiosk is a computer-based system that's controlled by software here in the association clubhouse here. And again, the system is only as intelligent as the data that is programmed into it. So there is going to be a form that the residents are going to have to fill out with their name, their phone number that they want to utilize when a call is generated, and of course your 4-digit PIN number. And it's very, very simplistic. It's very user-friendly. It's intuitive with an LCD display. I have it on the table over there for display. And the display will say, "Welcome to Lake Ridge." This is just an example. Please use the keypad below to gain access to your community between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. There's also a post that's out there. You probably have noticed now coming into your Route 70 gate. Just before the guardhouse there's some yellow bollards, a white 4x4 post, and the stanchion for the kiosk. And more signage will be installed on that post, which gives your guests it's only after 11 p.m. at night that will utilize the system. And again, if they're authorized individuals that are coming in after 11 p.m. at night, you could give them your 4-digit PIN number to gain access, or they can call you from that kiosk to your home phone or your cell phone for you to hear them, and then for you to grant access for them to come into your community. I've been working for your community since its inception in 1996 from the Copes organization, and I've been maintaining your entrances and exits now for 26 years. So if anybody has any questions, we'll take some questions for question and answer time. I see a young lady here in the middle aisle.
On the 4-digit code, is that going to be given, by you, and then we have to remember that, or you make that up?
No, you're gonna, each resident has to pick out their own 4-digit PIN number, just like you would on your bank card. So everybody gets to pick out a 4-digit PIN number that's gonna be on your form. So we have a hard copy of it that gets programmed into the system. Yes, sir.
Most people are worried about whatever redundancy or what UPS is going to be attached to it to ensure that it always works. So are you planning to put a UPS attached to it so that you don't have a power outage and it fails?
Yes, your gates currently have battery backup on them, and the directory system will also have battery backup. Phone service is provided by Comcast. Comcast has a battery backup on their modems, as you would at your house, meaning that if you're a Comcast customer, your modem there has a battery inside of it which keeps the voice portion of it working when there's a brief power outage. After so many hours, the batteries can't sustain operating any equipment, and of course the gates will automatically default to the open position. So if we have some kind of catastrophic weather event and power is out for more than a few hours, the gates automatically open up so it does not cause an entrapment issue for residents and emergency services coming in and exiting.
Sir, I have a question over here.
Yes.
I had an experience this past week which raises the question. I was out of town with my wife, and we did not arrive back into Lake Ridge until something like around 11:45 in the evening. Now, given the fact that you're saying that the system is going to start operating from 11 p.m. until 6 a.m.
Right, that's what the board has decided on the time frame schedule, yes.
What happens when a resident is not at home? Such as in my case, my wife and I were not at home.
So you were in your friend's car and you went out to dinner? I'm not here to debate you, I'm here to give you...
I'm not asking
So you were out in your friend's car, you did not have your remote control or your access card with you.
No, I did not have my access card. with me.
Okay, and that's the feature when you would use the kiosk, because you could only come back home through Route 70. You would not be able to come back home through Whitesville or Massachusetts Gate, correct? Because you have no device with you.
No, that's, well,
You have no access control device with you. You do not have the remote, and you do not have the card, the access card. So you have to come back to the Route 70 gate.
Well, I was in
So the guard is not there, the kiosk is in place. So you do have a 4-digit PIN number that's assigned to you.
Yeah, but that 4-digit PIN number reads the.
No, it does not. No. It's redundant. You have a 4-digit PIN, which is your access PIN number.
All right.
Just like you would use on your garage door to open your garage, if you don't have your remote. A lot of people have a keypad on the outside of their house. Same principle. You enter a 4-digit number, it opens the gate for you.
Clarifying, thanks.
Thank you.
Listen, I just have a very quick question for the board. Have you considered the Asbury Park press deliveries and so on for that situation? Because
Yes.
they come around 5
That's been addressed also. I do this in a number of communities, and whoever is the paper carrier, or if Amazon comes in before 6 a.m., which, I don't see that happening in other communities, they will be issued PIN numbers that they can utilize if they're the delivery service. Or a paper carrier, like you're mentioning, will be getting a 4-digit PIN, and it gets recorded in the system. So it's assigned to them. It's restricted, meaning they can't use it at 1 o'clock in the morning. Paper carrier can only come in starting at 7 a.m. Or before, but that PIN has a restriction on it, does not give them 24-hour access. Any other questions? Yes?
If we choose to use our cell phones, is there a provision for 2 phones per household?
No, it's one phone per household, meaning you can use your landline or your cell phone to receive the call.
We don't have a landline, and one of us isn't home and has that cell phone, what happens?
Well, your visitor, meaning if you're not home and the visitor comes at 1 o'clock in the morning and says, "Hey, Bob, it's Frank, let me in," you can still open up that gate from wherever you are to allow them in the community if you so desire. Anywhere in the world, pretty much, as long as you answer your phone.
Go back to the 4 digits.
Yes.
What if 2 people have the same 4 digits?
4-digit numbers have 9,999 combinations. We only have 926 homes here. So there's still 8,000 combinations of numbers that can be randomly chosen. If there is a duplicate that gets turned in and programmed in the system by chance, meaning it's like winning the lottery, that number will have to be changed for one of the homeowners there because it's a duplicate. Yes?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You said you've been doing the gates. The gate going out to 70?
Yes.
You have to almost touch it for that to come up.
It's right there at the stop line. There's a stop sign and a white stop line. It's designed to calm traffic down. It's not a raceway to race out of your community. You have to come to a stop where the stop sign is. And the gate does open and does close for thousands of people every day. Yes, sir. No, you have it programmed, the wireless transmitter is programmed into your home link. Yes, that remains intact at this time, yes. Still works at all 3 gates 24 hours a day. And, oh, there's another one back there, yes.
You mentioned the Comcast battery backup.
Well, again, I don't work for Comcast or anything,
I
but
understand, but not everyone has a battery, you have to pay for that. So as far as the gate is concerned, how long does it last? Is it 8 hours?
no, the Comcast is the provider, I think, or Verizon. I'm not sure, I gotta revisit the gatehouse there. Is providing the phone service, which it ties into the kiosk.
And I think, I'm asking if there's a power outage, I think you mentioned.
Yeah, right, if there's something,
I
again,
think it exhausts like on 8 hours,
Yes. Yeah. So if we have another Sandy event and power's out for an extended period of time, or a snowstorm that inundates the community and knocks out power, the gates will automatically open and remain open for you to freely enter and exit, and for emergency vehicles. When power is restored, the gates drop back down automatically and go back into operation. You rely on Jersey Central Power and Light to supply the electricity to operate them, yes. So again, we rely on utilities to provide the service. If something catastrophic happens, we do have a product in place that keeps the equipment operating for so many hours. All right, I see no more hands.
I got one more.
Yes.
Over here.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, now you've done these in other communities and you're very experienced at this.
I-
Have you ever come across a case where there was a resident out of the community and can't get back in? They have no access, they have no phone?
Well, again, this has to do between the hours of 11
Right,
p.m.
have you ever had an issue where somebody was out
Somebody's
of the
lost?
community and could not get in the community? They
If
get
somebody's
a phone
lo-
number?
Somebody's lost and they're in the wrong community, which I run across all the time. They think they're over.
No, if they're in the right community and they can't get through the gate. Have you never seen that issue anywhere?
Again, it's either a resident or an authorized visitor that you're telling to come to the community after 11 p.m.
Well, I'm saying the resident. If I'm out there and I'm in between.
No, I have not.
I have no.
I have not, no.
You know, I don't know who to call. I don't have a PIN number. I sit at the gate and say,
I have not run across that situation.
never.
Never. And I've been in business,
With
I've been in business since 1984.
senior communities.
And I've taken care of your community for 26 years
And where's your office? Where do you work?
in Tom's River.
In Tom's River?
Yes.
Okay.
And as communities, I'm working with builders currently.
Over a period of time, nobody has been locked up.
Communities that are being built right now that I'm working with, of Nadian, the communities do not have guard service anymore, and they're automatically coming with
I mean,
kiosks.
of course you're happy with the system because you're selling the system.
Again, I'm not here to debate you, I'm here to do questions and answers for a system operation.
Anybody have another point? Now, okay.
It's only about the directory system. Again, your 4-digit PIN, there's 10,000 combinations. If you do start putting in, just like if you're at the ATM and you keep entering your PIN incorrectly, it locks you out. So you only have 3 attempts to put in the right PIN number.
With the new electronics nowadays, the kids can turn around and they can scan things, they can open your garage doors. They're telling me there's no possible way that they can come up with a machine. It's
Again-
a simple question, you know, I'm not trying to be smart, but I'm saying.
All right, please state your question again, because I can't hear you.
Very soon.
One more time.
High tech nowadays, everybody's high tech.
Yes.
They can-
Everybody wants to hack your bank account, yes.
They can steal your car by driving up to you and push a button and get into your car.
So I hear,
Is
yes.
there any way that our system is going to be more secure than that?
Compromised, if somebody wants to just drive through the gate with their car because the car weighs 2 tons, yes, it'll pretty much go wherever it wants.
The question is electronically, come up and they have a device that they can override that box.
They cannot override the box with any electronic device.
That's my question.
Thank you. All right, thanks.
No more questions.
I got one more.
Okay. Al, welcome to the Vice President.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Can everybody hear you? I'll try better. How's that? We realize that this is a change, and change is not necessarily well received with seniors. However, this will be a program that will be to our advantage as far as the monthly fees, quarterly fees, and we're trying, and we were elected on a platform that we are going to make changes that are beneficial to the community this being one of them. We hope you accept it. If it's a red or white elephant or a red herring, we'll certainly take a look at it very quickly. The roads, phase 2, are completed, as you well know. The community has received the roads in a very positive manner. Let you know that the work, phase 3 is in the works at the present time. The contractor will be Rothberg. We have an engineer who will oversee it and be the check and balance to the program. And we expect sometime during the summer that the remainder of the valley will be completed, the lower section of Lake Ridge. And you may expect, if you live in that area, you may expect to have your roads repaved. From the Veterans Club, any of you folks that are veterans, we are looking to receive more veterans. Unfortunately, there are too many gold stars going up on our Veterans Wall, which means we're losing our veteran residents. We encourage you to join. Our next meeting is March 7th at 11:30 a.m. in the large card room. We encourage you veterans to come out. We have some activities that are under discussion right now for trips and for having a good time. And finally, with the repaving, the roads are smoother. The tendency is to increase your speed. I'm going to ask all of you voluntarily to watch your speedometer and also adhere to the stop signs. There are a lot of roads that people are speeding on, and we've all seen it. Please, please, go the speed limit. That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm gonna be short and sweet today because we're only talking about 1 month. Okay, so for the 1 month ending January 31st, 2022, our income of $169,249 was $46,993 better than our budget. The principal factors that contribute to this favorable variance is that we had a surplus that we carried over from 2021, which was $53,265 better than the budget. Expenses, they were a little worse. Guess why? Snow. In January, we had snow. We spent $34,763 clearing driveways and spreading salt. That was $19,763 worse than our budget of $15,000. Okay, let's hope we don't see snow anymore. Balance sheet. Our cash and investments fund total $4.3 million, most of which is in replacement fund, which is currently a balance of $3.3 million. The funds are invested in CDs and insured by the FDIC, or in money market funds, and some funds are held in cash. The next stage of our road replacement will take place shortly. This will require an outlay of funds from the replacement fund for approximately $900,000 this year. Okay, thank you.
Well, as you know, we were shut down for a month, not 14 months like the last time. What we have been monitoring is the Ocean County infection transmission rate. When the rate is 1, that means one typical person infects another person. That's an average infection rate. It's not good. When we shut down during the surge, the spike, the end of December, the rate was 1.33. It's pretty bad. As of yesterday, the latest report shows that the infection transmission rate is 0.49. That's low. Unfortunately, during the surge, a couple of our employees got infected by the virus. But the worst is over. As of next Monday, February 21st, President's Day, we're ending the requirement to wear masks. And if the trend continues, right now we have picked a date, 2 weeks later, Monday, March 6th, we will allow guests in our building. Now, the CDC still recommends masks. It's not mandatory, and especially if you're not vaccinated, wear a mask. Protect yourself and everybody else. Next item, an attorney hired by the previous board tried to negotiate for more than a year with the mayor to continue the township reimbursement of part of our fire hydrant maintenance expenses. He was not successful. Now we're paying the full cost of $23,000 a year for fire hydrant maintenance. However, we're trying a different approach, a more aggressive approach. As you know, we're paying for hydrants in our community with no help from other taxpayers in Toms River. Meanwhile, we pay property taxes and we pay for all the other hydrants. That's not fair, we're paying twice. Fire hydrants are essential for public safety, but apparently the township doesn't think our safety is very important. The board is asking our state legislators to recognize that hydrants are part of the water system infrastructure. They are. Recently, 2 valves were replaced in acreage, and we paid for it through our property taxes. That's the way it should be with fire hydrants. We're asking our legislators to enact a law to make hydrants part of our water bills as we pay an infrastructure charge on your water bill. This month, that charge was more than the water I used. That's a fair way to get every water user to pay for hydrants all over Toms River. And I'm happy to say that the Community Associations Institute of New Jersey, which represents all HOAs in New Jersey, has agreed to make our hydrant issue a top priority this year. And speaking of safety, we are planning to install, and it will happen very soon, a safety railing on the steps into our outdoor pool. We're also, as was mentioned before, we're moving up our paving program so it happens in the summer, not at the end of the paving season in November. We're also going to move up our budget process so that you won't get just a couple of weeks' notice in December what the bill will be in January. We're going to have a meeting to have a budget here in November, so you know in advance how much to write that check for in January 1st. We have been discussing and looking into the possibility of clearing snow from our walkway, the paved walkway around the community.
Why?
Very expensive. We're going to get some costs, but in the past it has proven to be tens of thousands of dollars for each snowfall. We have 3.5 miles of walking path, and it has to be done either by snow blower or hand shoveling, very labor intensive. No decision yet, but it doesn't look good. The real problem for the safety of pedestrians after a snowfall, they have to walk in the street, and it was mentioned before, the danger is the speeders in our community. We're retired, we have time to go 25 miles an hour. We have time to stop for 3 seconds at a stop sign. Let's do it. We're investigating the cost effectiveness of our goose chasing contractor. The problem is geese are everywhere. It's a statewide problem. If we chase them from our lake, they go to the lake at Renaissance or some other community, they chase them and they come back. I've done too much investigation into goose poop. There's no easy solution. Lasers, noisemakers, wires, fences, nothing works. Geese live to be 20 to 25 years old. They have a habit. Watch where you walk. We're bringing the motor vehicle agency to Lake Ridge for a day. March 22nd, it will set up in our parking lot with weather cooperates. If not, they'll be in the building, where you can get your real ID driver's license that you need to get on the plane starting in May, renew your registration, you can get a disability placard to hang on your mirror. You can do all your motor vehicle business right here in Lake Ridge without going elsewhere. All the details will be in the March issue of the Views. If there's enough patronage that day, we'll bring it back in August for another visit. In next month's board meeting, we're going to have a demonstration of online voting. As we've said before, it's fast, it's guaranteed to be secure, and it will save us thousands of dollars in mailing costs. That will be demonstrated so you all know how to vote in the click of your mouse. And finally, in April, we're going to have the Toms River tax assessor and other township officials here to explain revaluation of your property tax assessment. That's going to affect your property tax bill starting August 1st. That will be information in the Views when that happens. Thank you.
The report from Bella was given already on August, our manager, Michelle.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the pool, if you don't mind. I wasn't using the mic yet. Is this any better? Okay. You know, we had some issues with the pool. I understand it's been kind of ongoing. So David and I met with the contractor who's been currently taking care of the boilers and so forth. The pool consists of a dehumidification system, which keeps your temperature where it should be, and your walls aren't peeling, and well, your windows have broken seals, but it removes moisture from the air and maintains the space temperature in the room. Then there are two boilers. They are top-of-the-line boilers, but being top of the line also means that they require very strict and very regular maintenance. We're not sure if that's been done in the past, but it's being done now. One of those boilers is for the radiant floor heating, and the other is for the pools. And then in addition to that, you have the pumps, the filtration system, and the heater exchanges. So we did some repairs to the boiler. That was in the reserve to be one of the boilers to be replaced in 2022. They don't think that needs to be done. It is a very good boiler. It did need some maintenance, which may have been lacking. As I said, it's being done now, so we do not have to do that. So as one piece gets fixed, it puts a little bit more pressure and load on the next piece, and that's what's been happening. So the dehumidification system was jeopardized on some level, and I'll tell you about that. And then it goes to the pumps, and the pumps are working harder, and the filters are working harder. It's all supposed to be in sync. Whoever installed them very well, but they all need to feed off of each other. So when we're changing the temperatures, especially of the pool or the airspace, it affects everything else. And that could be, it's a high possibility that that's why some of those other parts were failing. So the state code for pool temperature is 82 to 84. We have it at 86, so that could be a little bit of a problem, because then it's making the other parts that are attached to that work that much harder. So right now, today, it was at 83. Everything seems to be going well. It feels really warm. I've had no complaints about the temperature, which is great. The hot tub, the state code is 102, and that seems to be okay. Everyone seems to be satisfied with that. And the humidity in the room, 50 to 65%, which is right in where we should be. So hopefully all of the repairs that need to be done to the pool are, other than regular maintenance, are done and over. I did bring in, I thought it might be interesting to someone maybe, the heat exchanger has been replaced. Now it's copper, the components are copper. That's the old heat exchanger. And as you can see, it's, it accumulates from water, calcification and so forth. And there's two holes on the top where it's actually filtered through, and you can see that some of the pieces had come off, and they were in the filtration system. So that was a big part of it also. So hopefully we're past all of that. The pools are going great right now, fingers crossed, and we got a little bit of a deeper education on how the pools function. A couple things I really wanted to mention was the census. You know, that's a federal guideline that 55 and over communities should do these census forms every 2 years. So you were due this year, and we appreciate those of you that have handed them in. We received, as of putting my report together a day or so ago, we received 314. We need 80% to comply with the federal law, so we need 740. So if you have not filled out your census, please fill them out. We have a table, I brought copies in today, there's pens there, fill them out, there's a basket you can put them in. We really need those to comply. If we can't get to the 80%, we're gonna have to start making calls to all of you. And we don't, you know, you want staff to call you and pain in the neck, correct? If you, I'm sorry?
When were they sent out?
Oh, gosh, December, I believe, sometime in December. Okay, if you don't have one, they're here today, okay? And then also the e-consent. If you are interested in e-voting for the elections, those forms are here also. It's really very simple. It seems a little daunting in the beginning, but once you're set up, it's all anonymous. You hit a button and you're done. I figured it out with pricing. It saves us about $3 to $4 per person if you e-vote. It's a lot of money in the long run when you have 926, but not only that, we need quorum. A meeting is not legitimate if you don't have quorum. So we need you to either e-vote. You certainly are able to still paper vote if you choose, but e-vote will save you money in the long term. It's saving on printing and mailing, you know, stamps and so forth. As Rich mentioned, the paving for 2022, the roads are out to Rockford, so as soon as we get that back, we'll share that. The board did ask that they do it a little bit earlier this year, sometime between May and August, and not in September, October, November. So he agreed that that could be done. On the fees, January 1st started your new fees, $549 per quarter. Many people are kind of on auto debit and it's not changed. So you're now going to incur late fees, which have happened in January and now in February. So make sure that your fees are updated. And you can do that however you're doing it, through your bank, through calling Taylor Management. There's many avenues for you. There's 4 or 5 different ways you can pay. But make sure your fees are current, because Lisa and I are gonna start to call tomorrow to remind you that, or today possibly, that they're not updated. So you wanna just check that to make sure. Your 4-digit PIN that Jeff talked about with the call box, it certainly isn't meant to be any kind of a burden to anyone. So we're here to help you. When the time comes, we'll reach out to everyone. You could fill out your PIN. We have to manually put them in. Please don't be overwhelmed by it. That's what we're here for. We'll help you every step of the way. And if we need more introduction, we can do that also. And I was going to report on snow, but Mary did a wonderful job, and you know what your snow is. So that's my report.